Hey there, welcome to day 15 of the Get Up and Go 40-day challenge. Sharon Hornelson here, taking a sip of my coffee. And today we're going to talk about the A in our SOAP model, right? The A in our framework for dealing with change, dealing with challenges. We talked about and we brainstormed options. Hopefully you brainstormed your options yesterday. I'm working on financial options because I picked F, financial, for the area I wanted to go through the SOAP model on this time. Last time I picked physical, P for physical, because I wanted to pay attention to my physical well-being, especially after a couple months in quarantine. Some of my good habits I have let slip, first to admit it, and so that was my number one priority, my physical well-being. This is my belief, is if we don't take care of our bodies, if we don't take care of our health, we're toast, because we don't have the energy and the drive to do anything else that we want to do in our life. Now, today is all about the G, the go part of Get Up and Go, right? It's about action. And when can you act? This area of the model, of the framework, answers the questions, what am I going to do? And we brainstormed possibilities yesterday under options. And we got a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of what's, things that we could do, right? Possibilities. Then it also answers the question, when? When is the right time to take action? There's only one answer to this. That's now. Right now, in the present moment, is the only time that we can act. It's the only time we can choose to take action. It's the only time we can actually affect and make a difference in our own lives. I know that's really a weird concept, but so much of our time is spent thinking about the past, reliving the past, worrying about the future, when in fact, the only moment that we can ever act, the only moment we can ever make a difference in our own lives is this very instant, right now. So when you're watching a video to learn more, it's great to learn new things, but if you don't ever take action, if you don't ever do anything with the information that you garner, it's worthless. I used to be an avid reader before, and I still read in any way that I possibly can. I listen to a lot of things before my vision got bad, but I love reading books. I'm always reading, I'm always growing, I'm always learning, I'm always looking for new things and new connections that I can make to test out in my life. Now, if I just always read and learned all kinds of things, and I've been guilty of that through different periods of my life where I learn, but I'm not really applying what I'm learning. And what I found is I can fill my brain with a lot of stuff. I can actually stress my brain out by filling it with too much stuff, but if I'm not actually testing and trying and tweaking and seeing how it impacts me or works in my life, there's really no point. I can just, fill my brain up with stuff till it explodes, but that's not going to help me to move my life in the direction I want it to. I have to take action, and I have to do it now. So that answers the question, when? Well, how do we take action? That's what we're going to talk about today. And how do we decide? How do we decide what of that whole list we made yesterday? And even if you only made a list of 10 things, I hope you made a list of at least 10 things that you could possibly do. And some of them are going to be far-fetched and crazy, and you're like, I don't know how I could ever make this happen. I need $10 million, da-da-da-da. And, well, okay, that's probably not the first thing. That's probably not the thing you're going to do right now. And that's what we're going to talk about. PSDM stands for problem solving and decision making. Something I learned and helped to create in corporate America. I actually wrote a book on how, in the process of, because there's a process for everything we want to do, right? Everything we do, everything we think, everything we feel can actually be broken down to a process, and we can figure out what it takes right now for us to feel a certain way. Did you know that? Did you know that you can actually figure out what it takes to trigger and make you feel happy, make you feel loved, make you feel stressed out, make you feel excited, curious, joyful, angry, frustrated, depressed, any emotion that you ever feel? It's a different process for me than it is for you, but you can actually break that down and figure out what that is. Guess what happens when you do that? You now have the power over determining what it takes for you to feel a certain thing, or what it takes for you to get a certain result. So anyway, that's an example of problem-solving decision making, because we want to analyze some of the alternatives that we came up with, all of the options, all of the alternatives. We can't do them all simultaneously, right? There's incredible power in focusing in on one thing. So today we're going to break down and get just one action. We're going to find one thing, and it's just the next thing. What is the next thing, or what is the thing? Here's the questions I like to ask myself. What is the next thing I need to do to move me toward what it is that I want? So if my goal is to bring in more income, I want My where I am versus where I want to be isn't the same financially. So where I am to where I want to be, I could cut expenses, but I pretty much have done all those things in the past. I've decided and made the decision and the choice that I need to generate more income. So I brainstormed all the different ways I could bring in more money financially. Any way, any creative ways that I could create more financial resources coming into my life. Now, as I look through that list, I need to analyze and I need to figure out, number one, how do I overcome the fear I have with some of those? Because some of those options are way outside of my comfort zone, and I'm personally nervous and scared and not 100% confident about going for them. Now, if your list doesn't include some things like that, keep adding to your old list, because if it's the things that stretch us, the things that take us out of our comfort zone, that are the real fast track to what it is that we want. I found that through experiences. If I'm not a little excited, because the emotion of excitement and fear actually feel the same in our body. If I'm not a little scared or excited about something I'm moving toward or something I'm doing, then it's probably way too small. It's probably, yeah, it's better than doing nothing, but it's not the thing that I really need to be doing. Action trumps fear. The only way to overcome our fear is to take action, to take a step in the direction of the thing that we're afraid of. Courage, there's this false belief that courage is the absence of fear, but there is no absence of fear. Every single human being on the planet is afraid at some times and of some things. Very few people, I guess there's a disease where people are fearless and it's like something in their brain doesn't work, but that's the exception, right? And let's pretend that doesn't exist, because for all of us, for all intents and purposes, we all feel fear. We all experience fear, and we experience it in different ways and for different reasons. One thing, some things that, I'll give you an example. I have never, for some reason, been afraid of dying. I just haven't been afraid of it. I always knew I was going to, and maybe the knowing that I was always going to die and that it was inevitable just took the fear out of it for me. And so a lot of people, many people are very afraid of dying, and so they filter all of their choices, all the decisions, all the things that they're going to do on the fear of dying, predicated on the fear of, well, could this kill me? Am I going to die because of this? And I've never had that fear. It's a good thing, because I had a sudden cardiac arrest and I did die. It didn't stick, of course, because I'm here talking to you today, but I gained so much more from that experience than I would have if I had been afraid of dying. So we're all afraid of something. Now, I'm not super afraid, but I get creeped out by things like snakes and spiders and things. Now, in the house, spiders in the house, snakes anywhere. Snakes pretty much creep me out anywhere. Anything that can move that fast without legs, it just gives me that height feeling in the back of my neck that is scared, fearful. Now, am I going to go out and grab and start playing with snakes? No, because it's not important to me. But we feel that same fear over doing new things, trying new things. Some people have this incredible fear of public speaking, fear of doing a live video, fear of talking to other people who are really introverted and things. So action is the one thing that will overcome that fear. And action is courage, right? And courage is feeling the fear, but doing it anyway. Doing something, taking action in spite of the fear. Because guess what? As we take action toward the thing that we're afraid of, the thing we're afraid of, we realize that 99% of the time, the thing that we're afraid of doesn't happen, right? So that's enough on fear. So I talked about this model yesterday, this Venn diagram, which I think is really, really powerful. It talks about, and it shows us that at the point where we're integrated with our mindset, our motivation, and our methods, we are absolutely integrated and basically limitless and unstoppable. So if we can find an action that is in this zone, that is going to always give us an incredible rocket fuel propulsion toward what it is that we want. So if I ask myself, if I look through my list, and I don't have it in front of me, but if I look through my list of all the things I brainstormed, I sat out in the sun yesterday and actually brainstormed out this list, because number one, I needed some vitamin D, and number two, the sun seems to give me energy. So I'm out there making my list of all the things I could do to bring more income into my life. Now, as I look at that list today to pick the action I want to take, because I'm only going to do one action today. I'm going to pick one action and I'm going to do it immediately. And it can be a little thing, it can be a big thing, it could be just a little part of a big thing, but I'm going to take one action today, and that's your challenge today too, is you need to pick one thing on your list and at least make a step, one step toward that. And it has to be, you actually have to do something. Maybe you have to pick up the phone and call somebody. Maybe you have to message a friend or text a friend and ask them a question. Maybe you have to Google something. Maybe you have to, I don't think people go to the library anymore, but maybe you have to go to the library and research something. Maybe you have to call a business or call a friend and ask them a question. Whatever it is, you need to actually take action and physically do something today about this, right? So I need to physically do something on my list to take action toward what I want, which is more financial income. So of all the ways I can generate income, I'm going to ask myself, is my mindset strong and moving toward that thing? Am I motivated to do this thing? There's all kinds of things I could do to bring in more money, but I don't want to do it all. I could go get a job, right? I don't know. I'm sure there's some jobs that people with visual impairments can do, but I haven't had a job since 2004. So the probability of me being excited and motivated to go get a job is about negative 100. If that would be possible, that's my motivation to get a job. It's interesting as my mom still once in a while will say, well, just go get a job, honey. And I just kind of sit back and say, okay, Mom, whatever you say. And I just do my own thing. So how motivated am I to do that thing? And then I can ask myself, do I have the technology, the tools, the skills, the methods, the knowledge to do that thing? If I already have them, it makes it an easy no-brainer. I can take action on it right away. But say I wanted to create a chat bot to promote a product or service that I have. I actually have ManyChat. I've had it for, I think, 2 years or more, but I only ever used it once, and I've got a chat bot set up somewhere, not using it all. So if that were my thing I was going to do today, I actually have the tool, I have my method. I don't have a lot of knowledge about it, so it would take a lot of time and energy for me to actually figure it out and do it right. Or it would at least take more time and energy to figure it out and do it right than other things. So am I really integrated on that example to make more money using a chatbot? Mindset, motivation, and methods? Well, motivation, I would be motivated to do that because I know that there's a lot of potential there for me to reach more people. My mindset is kind of iffy, right? You can tell by my tone of voice that I'm not 100% confident that I could quickly and easily do that right now today. I could do it probably in a week or in a couple of days, and maybe it wouldn't take that long, or I could hire somebody to do it for me, right? And that's an action, right? I could hire somebody to do a chatbot for me if I think that that's the next thing I should do. So I want to look at the things that I've got on my list, and I want to find one way to analyze them. This is just one way to analyze them that I learned recently that I'm testing out because I'm kind of excited about it. It makes a lot of sense. And we always want to be doing things that are going to give us the most value for the time and effort that we put into them. So if we can find an integrated activity that clicks on all these cylinders, we're going to get a lot more mileage out of the activities that we do. There's tons of other ways of analyzing alternatives, right? We can do the important, urgent way of analyzing. I used to do that on our to-do list. On my to-do list, I would do that. I'd say, okay, what's urgent? What's important? What can I delegate? What can I get somebody else to do? What is something I have to do and I can't delegate? And that would be the way I would decide and set priorities for my to-do list every day. So we can use the plus and minus method, right? What are the positive? What are the benefits of doing this? What are the minuses of doing this? And that may be enough to help us pick something. When I'm doing a quick and one of my first run-throughs on an area or an aspect of my life that I want to improve, I keep it simple, and a lot of times I go with my head and my heart, my mind. What do I intuitively think? What does my brain think is going to be the quickest, easiest, fastest thing for me to implement and do? And I take action on that. Because taking action helps me to start moving forward. And as I'm taking action, guess what? Some of the stuff I do, some of the stuff I try is an epic failure. I mean, done a lot of things as I moved from the offline to the online world that were just a bust, that were an absolute waste of a lot of time. Not a little bit of time, but I'm talking months of time. But it's because I was following the teachings or following the training of people that were supposedly teaching me the right thing, but they were just teaching me, and I forgot to analyze what worked for them, and I wasn't necessarily making it and changing it and tweaking it enough so that it would work for me. And guess what? Every strategy, every technique, every method that works for other people, it works for them, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Each of us are different, and we bring our own unique amazingness to each method that we learn, and some work for us, some don't. It doesn't mean they're bad methods, it just means they're not the right thing for us. So today, erase all this, pick a method, pick a way to pick something off your list. Just pick one thing and take one step toward it. Take your action. Share in the comments below the action that you took, and if you get a result right away, let us know. And even if it's a, hey, this was totally a bust. I did, I hopped online, I did some research, and I found out that this is not the step for me. So I'm going to go back to my list. I'm going to pick another thing. I'm going to take action on that. And that's what we're going to all do. Keep taking action on things until we find the right path for us. That's it. That's our A in SOAP today. Go out, take some action, share in the comments below, and I will be with you tomorrow to talk about the P, because we all need to remember the P in SOAP. Catch you tomorrow. Have an awesome day. If you have any questions, ask in the comments below. Take care.